Good morning, guys. So we're starting a bit later than I was hoping to. I was hoping to start around 8:30, but we have a load picking up over in how do you pronounce that? Menomonee Falls, Wisconsin. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. So we're picking up a load there, and that's gonna get us back home. So the address that we have doesn't register on my GPS, so I have to use Trucker Path in order to get me to the building. So we'll have to ignore the Garmin there. But I'll tell you what, it got kind of chilly last night, and then this morning it's just been a whole bunch of wind. Truck's been rocking around. But yeah, we got a good reset in. It was about 11 and a half hours. Whew. But the good news is that we'll get some additional footage of, you know, more of the freeway than what I was able to over the last couple days. So that's pretty nice.
Right to take exit 259 and then turn left.
Whatever you say, dear. Whatever you say. Yeah, it is a windy day. I don't know what the wind gusts are at, but we're empty right now, so I've definitely had better driving conditions, but I guess you can't win them all, right? You win some and lose some. Today is me losing some. Goodness gracious. So in order for us to head the right direction that we need to be going, I need to hop off on this next exit up here, which is exit 259. We're gonna hop off there, turn around, probably backtrack for what looks like about an hour, give or take, which actually isn't all that bad. I mean, it could be a lot worse. So we'll go back, kind of sort of back the way that we came. I have no idea what the commodity is that we're picking up. So, yeah, who knows? But yeah, today will be a pretty nice, interesting day. Get a little bit more shots done of now freeway that's not the same stuff over and over again.
After 2 miles, keep right to take exit 259 towards Wisconsin 89.
Well, that's what I was planning on doing. Well, yes, I understand. That's what I was planning on doing. Thank you. Oh, and today we're also going to get a truck wash as well, because this truck hasn't had it in a hot minute. So, but yeah, we'll get turned around here, and we'll see you guys in a little bit. But I am gonna have to back it in here off the street. So we'll start there. Start bringing it around. So from the sounds of it, we're only picking up 2 skids. Total of 600 pounds. And that's gonna go back home to Michigan. Almost first shot. Wishful thinking. That's fine, because we got to get out, open up the doors anyways. So we are back on the road. That was probably one of the fastest live loads I've ever had. The guy had me loaded in about 3-4 minutes, but we sat there a little bit longer because he and I just ended up getting into a good little chit chat about work, the industry, how things are working, and if you're new to the trucking industry, I highly recommend that you take the time to actually talk with your customers, because you'd be amazed at a lot of times what insight these guys have. So the clip before this was a time lapse from us after we got loaded. And right now we're probably, I think it's about 7 miles from the Illinois border. We're on 41 right now, Interstate 41, passing the Haribo factory, where I don't know if that's headquarters or not, but it's that's a lot of gummy bears. Beautiful little area. The freeways are always this nice. I mean, we get we'll hit some pretty decent traffic possibly once we get into Illinois, but once we get into Michigan, we're gonna stop at Benton Harbor, because I want to pick up a truck wash while I'm there, get the truck cleaned up, because this truck hasn't had a wash in a few weeks. It's way overdue for it. I don't know if the footage of what me walking around outside the truck will show it. Obviously the trailer is super clean. Now, one thing I wanted to point out with that bit of footage is that if you saw the front tandem on the back of the trailer, it looked different than the rear axle. So our trailers have an automatic lift axle, which saves tire wear. It does change the ride a little bit. It's kind of negligible. You can't really notice it too much. but you'll notice it when you're backing up because the pivot point is different. So instead of pivoting on 2 axles, you're pivoting on 1. So that one takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's a very nice feature to have. The trailer's very clean because it's almost a brand new trailer. It's a 2023 trailer. But yeah, we only got 2 skids, 600 some odd pounds. I mean, it's really nothing to write home about, except for the fact that we're getting 8.2 miles to the gallon right now, and it is still really windy. So 670 some odd pounds does not do enough to keep us weighed down and keep us from getting blown around like paper in the wind. So we are now coming up on the home stretch for the day. As you saw earlier, we just got in and out of the truck wash. A guy in front of me was getting a trailer washout, but yeah, we got the whole works done. We got all the chrome, all the stainless, aluminum, everything got cleaned off, got treated. We put Rain-X on the truck, got an undercarriage wash, engine bay wash. Yeah, we got a bit of everything. And I usually try to do that once a week. Obviously this truck hasn't been in a few weeks. But the whole way back, it looks like we've been averaging 8.4 miles to the gallon. At one point we had almost 9. Almost, pretty close. So, overall today's been pretty decent. We haven't had too many issues aside from, you know, lots and lots of traffic and just, you know, long stints of, I don't know, not a really whole lot of nothing. The first 2 videos were, you know, trying to make some good filler content, make sure that, you know, you guys were still, make sure that you guys are still engaged, you guys are still interested. So that's why I did a few walk-arounds, did a few things like that. So we went and got our truck wash at the Blue Beacon in Benton Harbor, Michigan. We're now on 196, heading towards Grand Rapids. Oh, now what? I'm interested. I'm now emotionally invested in that. I want to know what happened. Oh, well. Like the Tootsie Pop commercial, the world may never know. So, I'm not quite sure what the plan is for next week. It hasn't really been discussed a whole lot. I know that we're going back out on Monday. Where to? No idea yet. I'm sure I'll find out when I get back to the yard, is my guess. I'm assuming that they'll probably have all my paperwork set up for me. And then we'll have a better idea as to what's happening from that point on. Oh, I'm trying to think of a good topic to discuss to close out today. Oh, here's one. So am I an owner-op or a company driver? So I am a company driver. My company is based out of West Michigan. It's about as narrow as I want to get. But my company is based out of West Michigan. Not a very big company, about 30-40 trucks, something like that. There was a point at which, before my daughter was born, I did actually consider becoming an owner-op. I talked to a few friends that were owner-ops, and unfortunately, with the way that the economy is and was at that time, because that was just as COVID was beginning to be a problem. I probably would have lost everything. Probably would have had to have sold the truck, sold all my assets, and gone back to being a company driver. But the thing with being a company driver versus being an owner-op nowadays is that if you look at the annual gross earning of an owner-op, right, and say you're making $100,000 or $200,000 a year as an owner-op, well, you got to factor that you're going to have a lot in taxes taken out. So say that after taxes you made about $125,000 to maybe $150,000 for the year. Well, you know, you're still making good money, right? You're still, you know, oh, you know, I've only lost $75,000, so I'm still ahead. However, the one thing that people don't take into consideration is, one, fuel costs. Every single week, fuel costs. This truck gets pretty decent mileage, but when it gets down to about a quarter tank, it'll usually run you about $750 to $800 to fill it up. 280 gallons when it's completely dry. But you have to, you know, that one fill up will not get you through a whole week, depending on how hard you want to drive. Now, you can't be an owner-op and not drive hard, so you're kind of suckered into that, and having to pay for a good bit of fuel. Fuel costs are up there. Truck prices right now are pretty ridiculous. They're all over the place. Could you get a cheap truck? Yeah. Is it going to be reliable and comfortable? It might get you through your first year or two, and then you're going to sell it and get another one. So it just doesn't add up, right? So say at the end of it all, you walk away with $65,000 to $75,000 left over that you've pocketed after you paid it yourself, the truck, and your taxes. That's one of the reasons why being an owner-op nowadays just isn't, at least at this point in the economy, is not necessarily the best financial option. The freight rates aren't where they need to be, and frankly, I would rather have that be my company's issue than have it be my issue and then not know whether or not I can go out and afford the next week of work. But I've always been a company driver. I've never done a lease purchase or anything like that. I've never owned my own truck. Would I like to? yeah, at some point I would really like to own my own truck. Do I see that in the future? Possibly. You know, maybe. But I think if you find the right company that treats you well enough, you don't really need to own your own truck, right? If you're making enough per mile, if you're making enough per diem, if you're making enough bonuses and mileage, and you don't need it. You know, the only thing you got to pay for is food and whatever accoutrement you want in your truck. You know, say you want a radio, right? You got, you know, a CB here might run you, I don't know, anywhere from 120 bucks to, I've seen them up as high as 550, 700 bucks. Those are your expenses, but this, all this kit here comes with me no matter where I go. So it's just something to think about. I know that a lot of people want to own their own big rig. A lot of people want to do that. It's not affordable right now. Maybe in the next 5-10 years, you know, maybe prices will go down. Things will be, you know, far more affordable. But I just don't see that being the case at this point. Also, I'm pretty young, so I don't really want to get into that kind of financial situation until I've got more time on the road. I know what area, you know, per se I want to work in. So yeah, just something to think about. But yes, I'm a company driver, not an owner op, and will probably be a company driver for the next little while. So with that being said, we're about 80 miles or so out from dropping this bad boy off, and we're just bobtailing on out of there. So we'll catch up with you guys here in a little bit. Alright, good evening guys. It is 8:20 right now. We're wrapping up for the day. Just turning all the paperwork. Got the car pulled up in front of us there. So now we can start offloading all of our bags, everything up here. Luckily there's not a whole lot of laundry to do, so it makes my weekend a little bit easier. But yeah, bed's kind of made. Acceptable. What it is, it's acceptable. We can leave it like that. That's fine. Nobody has to know. As long as you guys don't say anything, I won't say anything. But I want to thank you guys for sticking around with me for these first 3 videos. I'm gonna get day number 2 posted tonight, and then I think probably day 3 posted tomorrow. And we'll pick it up on Monday. I might film some in between stuff of, you know, what it's like to get ready for the day, and those will probably be much shorter videos, probably not as cinematic and there's not as much editing involved. But that aside, I want to thank you all for taking the time to click on my videos, watch them, like and subscribe. That really means a lot to me. You know, this is my passion, and I want to get out there, and I want to show people how great of an industry this can be, and some of the hardships and some of the positives of it too. But I want to thank you guys. I'm gonna close it out here tonight. I'm gonna go off and have my weekend. Have a good night.